Kirk Frost's world has been turned completely upside down following his shocking arrest for allegedly attacking Rashida. What began as a private altercation quickly spiraled into a public scandal that sent shockwaves through the love and hip-hop community. But the drama is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started. Just days after being taken into custody, disturbing reports have emerged about Kirk's deteriorating mental and physical condition behind bars. Sources close to the situation reveal he's barely eating, refusing to speak, and has even been placed on suicide watch after a terrifying episode that left guards scrambling for help. Within 72 hours of his arrest, Kirk was already showing signs of a serious breakdown. Guards initially assumed he'd be like other celebrity inmates, demanding and dramatic. Instead, they found him hauntingly silent. One officer even commented that it was like Kirk's soul had stepped out and left the body behind. According to insiders, Kirk refused food and water during his first 24 hours. When asked questions, he either ignored them completely or responded with vague mumbles. On the second night, things took an even stranger turn when guards found him sitting motionless in the corner of his cell, whispering what sounded like apologies to no one in particular. When a guard tried to engage with him, Kirk just stared straight through him, eyes glassy, skin pale. It was clear something was breaking inside him. The situation escalated when Kirk collapsed during a routine head count, hitting his head on the concrete floor. Though he regained consciousness quickly, he couldn't stop shaking and kept muttering Rashida's name over and over. Medical staff recommended psychological observation, noting signs of acute stress disorder. They moved him to a quiet room where he finally broke down, sobbing uncontrollably and repeating, "I didn't mean to hurt her. I lost control. I wasn't supposed to." News of Kirk's condition leaked when a facility employee anonymously contacted a gossip page. "He's not doing well, like at all. This ain't a stunt. Dude's really losing it. He keeps saying he wants to see Rashida, keeps crying, he's not acting, he's broken." The post went viral within hours, dividing fans between those who felt he deserved sympathy and others who insisted abuse could never be excused. Meanwhile, Rashida has been living her own nightmare. She hasn't returned home since Kirk's arrest, choosing instead to stay with her cousin. Her phone has been on silent, buzzing constantly with messages from fans, family, castmates, and producers, everyone wanting to know what's next. Is she done with Kirk for good? Will she forgive him again? Will she show up in court? But Rashida isn't ready to answer any of these questions. Her heart is shattered, and she keeps replaying the incident in her mind. The raised voice, the anger in Kirk's eyes, the way everything spiraled out of control. She thought they had been healing, that they were past the cheating, the lying, and the betrayals. But something inside Kirk had cracked, and she had been the one to suffer the impact. Despite urging from friends to speak up and tell her side before the internet filled in the blanks, Rashida has remained silent. This isn't about playing the reality game anymore. This is her life, her marriage, her children's father, and no edit could capture the pain she's feeling. The situation took another turn when Rashida saw the viral post about Kirk's breakdown. At first, she didn't want to believe it, assuming it was another publicity stunt, but something in her gut told her it was real. Late that night, she called the facility to check on him. When she finally got through to the medical wing, she asked if Kirk was okay. The voice on the other end paused before saying softly, "He's stable, but he's not well. He's been asking for you." They connected her to Kirk, whose voice was weak, shaky, almost unrecognizable. "I'm sorry," Kirk whispered. "I know I messed up. I don't deserve anything, but I needed to hear your voice." Tears streamed down Rashida's face as she struggled with what to say. Part of her wanted to scream, part wanted to hang up, but another part missed him. "You scared me," she said softly. "You scared the kids. You scared yourself." "I know," Kirk replied. "I hate myself for it. What do you want from me?" she asked. "I don't know," he said. "Just don't give up on me yet." The silence that followed said more than any words could. That night, after speaking with Kirk, Rashida couldn't sleep. Her mind kept spinning with memories, regrets, and questions. Had she missed the signs? Had Kirk been struggling mentally for longer than she realized? Was this outburst just the explosion of years of suppressed pain, or simply another excuse for a man who couldn't control his temper? The following morning, headlines took a new turn. The facility released an official statement announcing Kirk had been transferred to a private psychiatric treatment center after doctors declared his mental state fragile and unpredictable. Sources claimed Kirk suffered a severe panic attack after Rashida's call, one so intense he had to be sedated. A nurse leaked more details, saying he kept repeating her name. He was shaking, crying, saying he ruined everything. It was heartbreaking. Meanwhile, Rashida received a handwritten letter from Kirk. The words were shaky, smudged with tears. In it, Kirk confessed to more than just the incident. He admitted battling depression for nearly 2 years, but kept it hidden out of pride. The constant filming, business pressure, and guilt from past mistakes had snowballed into something he could no longer control. "I thought if I just kept pushing, it would all go away," he wrote. "But instead, I pushed you away, and now I'm the one lost." Behind the scenes, Love and hip-hop producers were in panic mode. The Kirk-Rashida storyline was one of their most popular, and this real-life drama was bigger than anything they could have scripted. "This isn't just drama," one exec said during a conference call. "This is a mental health crisis. We can't exploit this." But another producer disagreed. "This is real and raw. If Rashida agrees to speak, it could be healing for her, maybe even for Kirk." When producers reached out again, Rashida agreed to a private, off-camera conversation. During that talk, she finally broke down. "Part of me wants to run, to just disappear and never deal with any of this again," she admitted. "But then there's this other part that still sees the man I married buried under all this pain." When gently asked if she'd consider a one-on-one sit-down with Kirk once he was stable, she replied, "Not yet, but maybe someday." While Rashida wrestled with her decision, Kirk's condition worsened. He stopped eating again, refused to speak to anyone, and wouldn't even acknowledge doctors. The psychiatrist called it a full shutdown. His body was present, but his mind had checked out. Then came an unexpected twist. A former friend of Kirk's came forward with shocking claims that Kirk had been dealing with extreme financial stress. Apparently, he'd made some bad investments, lost a significant amount of money, and had been hiding it from Rashida for months. He was drowning. The man said, and the worst part, he wouldn't let anybody help him. He just kept saying, "I'll fix it before she finds out," but he never did. This revelation lit up social media like wildfire. Suddenly, the pieces started coming together. The pressure of keeping secrets, the fear of disappointing Rashida, the shame of losing money. It had all built up until he snapped. When Rashida watched the video, she felt like her chest was being crushed. How much didn't she know? How many times had Kirk smiled at her, pretended everything was okay, while hiding a storm behind his eyes? She remembered a night just 2 weeks before the arrest, when Kirk had come home late, looking exhausted. When she asked if he was okay, he brushed it off, saying he was just tired from work. She had believed him. Now, she wasn't so sure. The next day, Rashida made a quiet decision. She returned to the facility, not for Kirk, but for herself. She needed closure and wanted to see if the man who had once been her partner still existed somewhere inside the broken shell now lying in that hospital bed. When she arrived, Kirk was in a catatonic state. His doctor explained, sometimes people in his condition can't handle the weight of their own guilt. That hit Rashida like a punch to the gut. She had always known Kirk to be strong, always holding it together for their family, but now the roles had reversed. As if things weren't complicated enough, Rashida's cousin Tammy went on Instagram Live blasting Kirk and questioning Rashida's silence. "Why is my cousin still visiting that man after everything he did to her? You don't hit someone and then cry mental health. I don't care what he's going through. My loyalty is to Rashida, not to some broken promises." The clip went viral within hours, further dividing fans and family alike. When Rashida confronted Tammy over the phone that night, Tammy snapped back. "Because you're not saying anything, and people need to know that he doesn't get to play victim, not after what he did." "You think I don't know that?" Rashida replied, her voice tight. "You think I haven't cried every single night? But this is my life, Tammy, not yours, and definitely not the internet's." Tammy hung up, adding another fracture to a family already full of cracks. Just when Rashida thought things couldn't get more chaotic, her sister Monica called with news that would turn everything upside down. "You're not going to believe this," Monica said, her voice tight with emotion. "But I think Kirk might be getting help from someone you wouldn't expect." "Who?" Rashida asked, curiosity piqued. "His ex-wife." Rashida felt her stomach twist. Kirk's ex-wife, Tanisha, had always been a shadow hanging over their relationship. There had been whispers over the years about unresolved issues, and many times Kirk had spoken about how their marriage had ended in a whirlwind of drama. "What do you mean, his ex-wife?" Rashida demanded. Monica explained that Tanisha had apparently been reaching out to Kirk, sending letters and offering support. "She says she wants to help him find peace," Monica continued. "She's been through some of the same struggles he's dealing with. Maybe she can help him get out of this spiral." "You have to be kidding me," Rashida muttered. "After everything they went through, she wants to help him?" "I know it's crazy," Monica softened her voice, "but sometimes the most unexpected people can provide the healing that others can't." As if Tanisha's sudden involvement wasn't enough, another bombshell dropped. Kirk's mother, who had been one of his few supporters during this crisis, contacted the media with plans to sue the network. She believes the pressure of filming and public scrutiny pushed Kirk to this breaking point, a reporter explained to a blindsided Rashida. She claims the network is partly responsible for what happened to him. The media storm intensified with each passing day. Tabloids printed increasingly exaggerated details about Kirk's breakdown. "Kirk Frost's mental breakdown. Did reality TV destroy him?" one headline screamed. "Family war erupts as Kirk's past catches up with him," read another. The public wasn't just speculating about Kirk's health anymore. They were dissecting every detail of his and Rashida's entire relationship. Rashida was at her breaking point. "I don't know what to do anymore," she admitted to her friend Tasha. "I keep hoping Kirk will come back to me, but I don't know if I can keep living like this." "You don't have to," Tasha said gently. "You've been through so much. It's okay if you need a break. You've got to put yourself first now." But Rashida didn't know how to put herself first. She had spent so long prioritizing Kirk and their family, always trying to fix things, always trying to make it work. Now, with everything falling apart, she had to face the reality that maybe some things couldn't be fixed. The next few days were a blur of phone calls, meetings with lawyers, and endless media coverage. Rashida spent hours at the hospital, watching Kirk in his unresponsive state, feeling helpless and torn. She didn't know if she was helping him or enabling him to stay stuck in this cycle of self-destruction. Then came the moment that would change everything. As Rashida sat by Kirk's side, the door to his room swung open. "Rashida?" A familiar voice called softly. Standing in the doorway was Tanisha, the last person Rashida had expected or wanted to see. "What are you doing here?" Rashida asked, her voice cold and guarded. Tanisha stepped into the room cautiously. "I heard about Kirk's condition. I know we haven't always gotten along, but I want to help." "Help?" Rashida repeated in disbelief. "After everything you put him through, now you want to help? Why? Because it's convenient for you?" Tanisha flinched but didn't back down. "No, Rashida. I want to help because I know what it's like to feel like you've lost everything. Kirk has always been so stubborn, so proud, but I know him. I know what he's going through right now, and I think I can get through to him in a way no one else can." Rashida stood up abruptly, her eyes blazing. "And what? You think you're gonna swoop in and play the hero? Kirk is my husband. I've been by his side through everything. You don't get to come in here and act like you're the one who can fix him." Tanisha took a deep breath. "I'm not here to fix him, Rashida. I'm here because I know he needs something more than just your love right now. He needs someone who understands his pain, someone who's been there." The words hit Rashida like a slap. She had spent so much time trying to fix everything, trying to be everything Kirk needed, that she hadn't stopped to think about what he truly needed in this moment. "So what do you want from me?" Rashida asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "You want me to just step aside and let you do whatever you want?" Tanisha shook her head slowly. "No, I don't want you to step aside. I just want you to understand that sometimes we can't save the people we love the way we think we can. Sometimes they need something more." The silence in the room was thick, both women standing on opposite sides of the hospital bed, each fighting for Kirk's attention in their own way. After what felt like an eternity, Rashida finally spoke, her voice shaky but determined. "Fine, you can help, but I'm not letting go of Kirk. He's my family, and I'm not giving up on him." Tanisha nodded, relief crossing her face. "I don't want you to give up on him. I just think we need to find a way to work together. Kirk needs us both." Just then, Kirk's eyes fluttered open. Both women froze, their breath catching in their throats. His gaze was unfocused, distant, as if he didn't fully recognize his surroundings. "Kirk," Rashida said softly, her voice trembling. "Baby, it's me. Do you hear me?" Kirk's lips parted, but no words came out. He tried to lift his hand, but his body seemed too weak to respond. The doctor had warned that his body was shutting down due to stress, but this moment felt different. It was as if Kirk was fighting for something, fighting for his life, for his family. "He's going to be okay," Tanisha said quietly, though uncertainty lingered in her voice. "He just needs time." The days that followed were filled with even more tension. Tanisha stayed at the hospital, visiting Kirk daily. Despite her reservations, Rashida agreed to let Kirk's ex-wife help, but the strain between the two women was obvious. Each time Tanisha spoke to Kirk, Rashida felt a stab of jealousy and anger. But despite the underlying tension, one thing became clear. Kirk needed both of them. The road to recovery would be long, and the emotional battles they had fought before would be nothing compared to what lay ahead. The drama was far from over, and Kirk's recovery would test everyone in ways they hadn't anticipated.